Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well. Today we're going to be looking at how to delete files with PHP. Alright, so I went ahead and actually added a little menu system to the file editor since last episode. Basically, when I right-click a file, this menu pops up. I moved the new button into this menu as well, so you can now create files this way. You'll also note there is now a delete button, which is what we're going to be making today. As you can see here, when you click delete, it's going to call this function delete file. And we have this PHP script ready to go to actually delete the file. First thing I want to do though is add in a data-path attribute to all of the file elements. And that's just going to have the file's path in it. So that way when I actually right-click the file, we can keep track of the file that we clicked on just by that line of code right there. So now selected file will hold the file path of the file that we right-clicked. Now before we delete the file, we want to make sure that some file is actually selected. As you can see, if we deselect it, it will get set to null. Now we just want to copy our post from the new file function, and we can use this same function or this same post method to send a post request to our deletefile.php. Of course, we don't want to send in a file name and a dir, we just want the whole path here, which is our selected file. Everything else can stay the same. If it was successful, we'll update the folder, otherwise we will console.log. Alright, so to start things off, we have to get the path, so we're just going to use the exact same code that we've been using this whole time to get the absolute path here. We're going to use real path and then replace any backslashes with a forward slash. The next step here is to just make sure that that file actually exists, because we don't want to delete files that don't exist. And then if it does exist, we're going to call our remove function, and I'll explain why we use a function here in a little bit later. Then if it doesn't exist, we'll just echo out does not exist. So our remove function is going to return true or false, so we can just go ahead and return true or false. Or to make things a little easier, we can actually just remove all this and echo out whatever remove returns, so we can just replace that with echo. Okay, so the reason we're using a function here is because we want to recursively delete. That way if you delete a directory with files in it, it will actually delete all of its contents. It actually won't let you delete folders that have content, so this is important. So the first thing we want to do is check if the path that we're trying to remove is a file. If so, we're going to go ahead and just call the unlink function and delete that file. Now unlink returns a boolean, so we can just return unlink. Otherwise, we're dealing with a folder and we have to recurse through the folder and get all of its files. So to do that, we're going to use the scan dir function and then loop through all of those files and delete them. First, we want to check if the file path is referring to itself or its parent folder, which would be signified by a dot or a dot dot. So we're just going to check if it's one of those, or sorry, rather check if it's not one of those. And then if it's not one of those, we can go ahead and actually delete it. And to do that, we'll just first get the full path by combining the path that we are currently looking at. So we'll just replace this with path. But we also want to tack on that file name, so we'll add in a slash and then the file name. Just like that, we have the file path, so now we can go ahead and actually remove it, and to do that, we just call remove on that new path. Now we're going to have this return a boolean, but we're also going to check if this file exists. There should be no reason why it doesn't exist since we just use scandir to get it, but this is just a small little safety check here. And then we also are going to want to return a boolean, like I said, but we'll handle that at the end just by creating this variable up here called result, which will start out at true, but if anything goes wrong, we're going to set it to false. So to do that, we are just going to use an if statement right here. And if remove returns false, we're going to set result to false. Same with this unlink. If this returns false, we're going to set result to false. Then we can go ahead and go to the bottom of this for each loop and remove the directory once we're done removing all of its files. So it's important that this is afterward. Then we're going to do the same check to see if it returned false, and if it did, set result to false. Last but not least, we just return the results. and we are done. So let's go ahead and check if this works. We have a test folder here, and we can right click and delete that. As you can see, it disappears. Can test it on just a file, and it looks like everything is working as expected. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to see more videos like this or have some suggestions on videos that we can make, please let us know down in the comments. We always appreciate it. Thank you very much.